In this video, we'll discuss the events that occurred in 2021 in England. 19-year-old Ashley Wadsworth was full of hope when she left her family home in Canada and went to the UK. She flew over 4,000 miles to meet the guy she had been chatting with online for many years. In this video, we will find out how online dating can end. Born on July 25, 2002, in Vernon, British Columbia, Ashley Ann Wadsworth was the youngest of two daughters in the family of Kenneth Wadsworth and Christy Gendron. After graduating from high school, Ashley planned to continue her studies. She loved spending time with her family and friends. Everyone loved her deeply. The girl brought great happiness to others. Ashley was extremely passionate about traveling and loved art, skiing, swimming, tennis, and other outdoor activities. Vernon is about 270 miles northeast of Vancouver and has a population of about 43,000. Ashley dreamed of leaving this place and seeing other cities and countries. Most of all, she wanted to visit the UK, and this dream was not spontaneous. When Ashley was around 12 years old, she did not yet have a smartphone, unlike her peers. Therefore, she used the family laptop to watch her friends' and classmates' activity on social media. She knew it wasn't unusual to add dozens of friends and write messages to people she did not personally know. In 2015, a friend from Vernon introduced her online to an English boy named Jack Seppel. Ashley was 12 years old at the time, and Jack was 16. She had always been interested in the world, and the fact that Jack lived on another continent increased her interest in him. He was like a window to distant and unknown places. At that time, Jack was living with his mother in Chelmsford. It's a city of about 180,000 people, an hour's drive from London. While Ashley was a very outgoing person, Jack, on the contrary, was a bit withdrawn. It seemed that his main interest was social media. Their age difference of 3.5 years did not seem strange because they were just pen pals. But over time, they became closer. They talked daily, and after about 2 months, Ashley started mentioning Jack in conversations with her parents and older sister Haley. Ashley's parents, Christy and Kenneth, were divorced. However, this did not affect their relationship with their children. Ashley's mother was wary of the developing relationship, as she feared that someone else could be hiding behind the photos of the teenager. But when Ashley and Jack started FaceTiming in the family living room, Christy calmed down. She sometimes even greeted Jack. The woman liked his English accent. Christy thought that her daughter's interest in him would fade. Yet, the girl fell in love. For 7 years, Jack and Ashley texted and FaceTimed each other. Sometimes they quarreled and stopped communicating, but these periods were short. Jack sent Ashley gifts, clothes, teddy bears, jewelry, a purse, and sometimes money. His face and name regularly appeared in Wadsworth's household. Due to the 8-hour time difference, Ashley had to wake up before dawn to talk to Jack, and the latter would stay up late at night waiting for the call. Over time, Ashley and Jack had a common dream. They wanted to meet in real life someday. But for now, they were just an image on the screen for each other. When Ashley turned 15, she asked her mother if she could visit Jack. Christy's answer was negative. She could not imagine how her 15-year-old daughter would go to a distant country to meet a man she had never seen before. Of course, Ashley was upset by the refusal, but she did not despair and said she would go when she reached the age of majority. As they grew older, the couple began to quarrel more often. The most frequent reason for this was jealousy on Jack's part. He was afraid that Ashley might start a relationship with one of her peers from Vernon. Ashley tried to convince Jack and said she loved him, but he was very jealous. Sometimes their quarrels ended with Ashley blocking Jack so he couldn't call and text her, but that didn't stop him. He created new social media accounts to text her or contact her sister and friends, knowing they would tell Ashley about it. Some of her friends thought Jack was obsessed. However, Ashley always tried to defend Jack, saying he was very passionate. Sometimes the reason for their quarrels was Jack dating other girls. They would stop communicating during such periods, but they could not stay without each other for a long time. According to her mother, Ashley always compared her other boyfriends to Jack. In addition to his fascination with social media, Jack was passionate about tattoos. In October 2018, when he was almost 20 and Ashley was 16, he got a new tattoo, which he proudly showed her. He now had her name written on his arm. That's how Jack wanted to show his dedication and seriousness of intentions. Sometimes he called Ashley his future wife. Christy Gendron said this tattoo was too much. She forbade her daughter to get a tattoo with Jack's name, but Ashley said she never thought about it. The relationship with Jack became increasingly tumultuous. He showed some signs of controlling behavior even from a distance. Perhaps Ashley did not attach importance to this due to her age. During one of the quarrels, he ran a knife over his tattoo with Ashley's name. At that moment, she thought it was a crazy way to tell her he loved her. At the same time, she started hiding some details of Jack's behavior from her loved ones. In 2020, when Ashley was already 18 years old, she received several calls from women whom Jack dated and with whom he often quarreled too. One of them told Ashley that Jack wouldn't let her out of the house and asked her to talk to him and calm him down. Although Jack dated other women from time to time, he never kept it a secret. Or maybe she just thought so. Ashley was a teenage girl who hadn't realized yet that Jack was a skilled manipulator and that his behavior was abusive. She had intended to break off relations with him many times, but he always sincerely apologized, saying she was the only girl he loved. Ashley was a spiritual person who found God through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. She was baptized Mormon in April 2021. Ashley started working part-time as soon as it was legally possible. She worked at McDonald's, Burger King, and some other companies. The girl got her own money, and her first purchase was an iPad. Now, she didn't have to use the family laptop to communicate with Jack. Her dream of seeing him in real life did not go away. Ashley's parents had previously forbidden her to visit Jack, but now she was an adult and could make her own decisions. She had her own money, which made her dream come true. The girl got a 6-month tourist visa and bought a plane ticket to London. On November 12, 2021, 19-year-old Ashley said goodbye to her family, and her father took her to the airport. Her parents were, of course, worried about her, but they could no longer stop or convince her. "I thought the worst thing that will happen is she'll go. They won't work out, and then she'll come home," said her mother, Christy. While sitting on the plane waiting for departure, Ashley posted a message to her family on Snapchat. "I'm in my plane," she said. "It's huge." After 7 years of online communication and 10 hours on the plane, the couple finally met in real life. It was an exciting moment for both of them. Ashley's friends and family watched as she posted photos of herself and Jack on social media. She seemed to be happy. Ashley moved into Jack's house in northwest Chelmsford, where he has lived since 2020. Their story seemed like a fairy tale, and none of Ashley's family suspected this love story would have such a bad ending. But everything seemed perfect so far. Ashley posted photos of her trips with Jack together. They visited many places and seemed to be a happy couple in each published picture. The real-life Jack was just what Ashley imagined him to be, communicating with him online for so many years. That is, he was not trying to be perfect. Jack was kind and sentimental. Sometimes he was angry, showing his bad temper. They spent all their time together, as Jack was unemployed and lived on money provided by his mother, who lived nearby. And Ashley couldn't get a job because she was a tourist in the UK. She started noticing that Jack had no friends. He had no life apart from social media and a game console. Soon, he started showing the first signs of controlling behavior. He didn't like that Ashley was talking to one of the neighbors. This situation was strange to her. She always had friends and was not one of those who spent most of her time sitting at home. Before Ashley left Canada, a friend from the church put her in touch with some American missionaries about her age who were supposed to be in Chelmsford at the same time as her. When she arrived in London, she told Jack she wanted to meet these people, but he disapproved of her plans and did not allow her to attend Sunday services. It was another red flag in their relationship. Ashley was getting bored, as they now spent most of their time at home. Since Jack forbade her to attend church, she contacted the missionaries via text messages, keeping it a secret from Jack because she knew he would not like it. She deleted WhatsApp conversations because he was constantly checking her phone. Every day, Jack's behavior changed for the worse. 6 weeks after Ashley arrived, he hit her for the first time. That day, he texted his mother that he had smacked Ashley because he found out that she had blocked 2 British numbers on her phone years ago. He assumed that these numbers belonged to other men. "That's no reason to lay a hand on her," his mother replied. Thus, Ashley was in a foreign country, far from home and family, and alone with a man who was experiencing psychological problems. Behind the photos of smiling and happy couples are often sad and miserable people. The day after Jack hit her, Ashley changed her Facebook photo to a picture of Jack hugging her and captioned it "My Bestie" with a red heart. At the same time, she created a secret album on her phone where she kept photos of her bruises, which appeared due to abuse by Jack. Ashley told her sister Haley that he was not the man she imagined in her dreams. At the same time, she threatened to stop communicating with Haley if the latter told their mom about it. Jack regularly took sedatives. As already mentioned, he was a skilled manipulator. Jack had a history of self-harm. When he was angry or wanted his girlfriends to comfort him, he hurt himself, but he always did it so as not to endanger his life. Jack used a similar manipulation with Ashley. At the end of December 2021, he swallowed a supply of sedative medication, and Ashley had to call an ambulance. It took him to the hospital, where he received the necessary help. Ashley didn't tell her mom or her friends anything about the incident. The only person who knew about it was her sister Haley. The latter asked her sister to come home. The following month, in January 2022, Jack smashed a beer mug over Ashley's head. She FaceTimed her sister and cried while Jack screamed and forced her to clean up the pieces. Haley was shocked. She begged her sister to fly home, but it didn't work out. Over the next few weeks, like many other manipulators, Jack showed his better side, giving Ashley reason to believe he realized his mistakes and had changed his behavior pattern. But that was just an act that did not last long. Soon, Jack became enraged once again. He found old messages from a young Canadian man on Ashley's phone. He demanded social media passwords from her, and she provided them to him. During a fight in late January 2022, Jack hit Ashley again and threw a TV remote at her while she was FaceTiming with Haley, who once again begged her sister to come home. Ashley agreed at first, but then changed her mind. Her family believes Ashley changed her mind because Jack apologized, promising he would change. Thus, their relationship split into alternating cycles. Everything seems fine. Jack beats her up, and then he apologizes. On January 30th, Jack Seppel texted his sister, "I'm obsessed with Ashley's past." From that moment, it was only a matter of hours before the point of no return. On the morning of February 1st, Jack was furious again. Shortly before 8 a.m., the couple's neighbor heard Ashley's screams through the wall. A few moments later, Ashley appeared at her door in tears. She ran out into the street barefoot and with blood dripping from the cut on her palm. Ashley said Jack hit her, smashed her phone, and threw their kitten against the wall. Ashley was afraid for her life. At the same time, she asked her neighbor not to call the police because she didn't want Jack to harm himself, and she was afraid they would send him to prison. The neighbor went to talk to Jack. As usual, he used his skills to pretend to be a good person, apologized, and said everything would be fine. Hence, the neighbor left, and Ashley decided to return to Jack. Unfortunately, no one saw her alive after the door slammed behind her. About an hour later, another neighbor brought a package for Jack, which was delivered to her by mistake. While he was talking to her at the front door, Ashley took advantage of the situation and called her family from Jack's phone. She asked for help and said she wanted to go home. Christy was shocked when she discovered how things were going in her daughter's relationship with Jack Seppel. The family immediately booked Ashley a plane ticket for February 3rd. Christy told Jack that if he tried to harm her daughter again, she would immediately report him to the police. When Ashley and her family finished talking, it was about 3 a.m. in Vernon and 11 a.m. in Chelmsford. As soon as Ashley hung up the phone, Jack stopped pretending to be a good person and immediately attacked her. A few minutes later, he texted his mother via WhatsApp. "I beat up Ashley really bad." After another 14 minutes, he wrote, "She thinks she broke her arm. I picked her up and threw her on the ground and punched her and ripped her all around the lounge." At that time, Ashley was still alive, but unfortunately, there was no one to help her. From 11:22 a.m. to 12:38 p.m., she used Jack's phone to send messages. She wrote to family and friends in Vernon, where it was the middle of the night, and to her church acquaintances in Chelmsford. "It's Ashley," she wrote to one friend. "I need your help. It's an emergency, please." A couple of hours later, they received new messages which said everything was now fine. However, it wasn't Ashley who sent them. It was Seppel. None of those to whom Ashley wrote saw these messages right away. Shortly before 1 p.m., Jack Seppel strangled Ashley Wadsworth, but it didn't seem enough to him. He went to the kitchen, picked up a knife, and returned to the bedroom. He stabbed her at least 90 times in the chest and abdomen. Later that day, Jack changed his Facebook profile picture to a photo of himself and Ashley at Gatwick months earlier. He captioned it, "Forever Mine." Concerned, Ashley's church friends, Jamie Ashworth and Taylor Borden, visited the Tennyson Road property. When there was no answer, they called the police. While in the bedroom next to Ashley's body, Jack recorded a video message for her sister Haley. "I'm so sorry, Haley, for taking your sister," he said. He also said that he loved Ashley and couldn't let her go. He never sent this video to Haley. After recording the video, he inflicted minor superficial stab wounds to his chest. According to investigators, he could have done it to claim self-defense later. At about 4 p.m., the police arrived at the house. They knocked on the door, asking Seppel to come out. They saw that he was inside through the window, but Jack wasn't going to open the door. At that time, he was talking via video link with his sister, to whom he confessed that he had taken Ashley's life. The police broke down the door and arrested Seppel. They described him as calm. In the morning, Ashley's family saw a flurry of messages. They tried to contact her, but she wasn't picking up. Soon after, they found out what had happened while they were sleeping. Kenneth Wadsworth, Ashley's father, will never forget that day on February 1st. He woke up and found out that his daughter was dead. "Your heart breaks," he says. "It is really tough. That's your baby girl and she's gone. There aren't words to describe that sorrow." Kenneth traveled to the UK with his wife Charmaine to handle the paperwork and collect Ashley's body. Aside from the enormous grief felt at home by her family, the Chelmsford community also mourned her loss, despite many of them never actually knowing her. They held vigils in fields near where she had been killed, with flowers, balloons, and candles placed in her memory. After his arrest, Jack Seppel told police that he had gone psychotic. Despite these statements, a psychiatric examination determined that he was aware of his actions at the time of the crime and that he could stand trial. Ashley's family was shocked by the grief that had befallen them. But another shock awaited them when they learned that Jack Seppel had a long history of controlling behavior and harassment. In 2014, even before Ashley, 15-year-old Seppel met a 14-year-old girl online. He photographed her naked without permission, and when she broke up with him, he posted these pictures for everyone to see. She filed a restraining order. A month later, Seppel violated this order. That same year, he quarreled with his mother over his Xbox, pushed her to the floor, and ripped the door off its hinges. When the restraining order expired in 2017, Seppel again contacted the victim. Although the girl ignored his messages, he wasn't planning to back down. In January 2018, he sent her a message saying, "Please reply. You are never going to get rid of me, even if I have to go to prison over you. I'll see you soon, and I will turn up wherever you live." By then, he had been in contact with Ashley for 3 years. Even Seppel's mother has requested a restraining order against him. It happened in July 2018 when Jack again damaged the door, smashed her car, and broke the windows in her house. The court sentenced him to 8 weeks in a juvenile correctional facility. In September 2018, he violated the restraining order again. The following month, he pleaded guilty to trying to break into a nursing home. The court sentenced him to 21 days in prison. Seppel spent more and more time online as if looking for a victim. In March 2020, he met a woman on Facebook, and they began to live together. This woman quickly realized that he was a dangerous man. He was very jealous, and his behavior was unpredictable. When she said she was leaving him, Jack grabbed her by the throat and locked her in the house, but she managed to get out through the window and escape. There was another similar incident, but with a different woman. In total, Seppel had committed 12 crimes, and almost all of them were domestic violence. We had no idea of his history. I feel like I sent her to the wolves, Ashley's father said. Kenneth and Christy want others to learn from their daughter's story. If something doesn't feel right, act. If you know in your gut that your sister, your friend, your aunt, your mom, or your daughter is in a situation or a relationship like that, then definitely call the police and intervene. Step in. Speaking about her daughter, Christy also said the following words: "We should have reached out ahead of time through Claire's Law. We learned the hardest lesson of all. Our beautiful Ashley flew to England excited, alive and well, but sadly flew home in a box. Please be warned and leave these violent, toxic, and dangerous relationships now. If your gut tells you something isn't right then, please trust that feeling and intervene right away, even if they say it's fine and they're okay." The most dangerous time for a victim of domestic violence is when they decide to end the relationship and leave. Call the police to help them pack up their belongings and escort them out of there to safety. It's too late to save Ashley, but it's not too late to save yourself or someone you love. The trial began in September 2022. Seppel pleaded guilty to taking the life of Ashley Wadsworth. The prosecution case included strong witness testimony from neighbors and friends detailing the toxic behavior displayed by Seppel, as well as the events leading up to the murder. It included voice notes Ashley had recorded and sent to friends. In those notes, Seppel had told her he would kill her. The judge said that Seppel's attack on Ashley was brutal and cowardly. The judge said Seppel had 8 previous convictions for 12 crimes and that they were nearly all for domestic violence. The judge stated that it showed a clear pattern of violent and controlling behavior for a number of women. On October 10, 2022, the court sentenced Jack Seppel to life in prison. He will have the right to apply for parole after 23.5 years. Through his lawyers, Seppel gave Ashley's parents a note of apology, but they did not believe that he had repented of what he had done. Great, he's going to get time, but in the UK, like Canada, life is only 25 years. Ultimately, it won't bring her back, said Ashley's mother.